Guys, welcome to the channel. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical difficulties with my camera, but yes, finally online. Thanks for being patient. I'm here to do yet another reaction. I said it was a therapy session. Man United just lost 2-0 to Newcastle, as we've seen. And yeah, it was bad. I'm going to get into, talking through my notes, talk about my point of view. Big up to everyone in here. But before I get into the content, please get with the policy, and that is to hit the like on the premise that the stream will be good.
2,000 likes, 3,000 likes. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I like it. I know you like watching.
Hit that like button. And if you don't donate something that's free, you can feel guilty. You can feel so guilty. Tell them, John Fury.
You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, you political bastards.
Oh, so we've seen Newcastle win the 6-pointer. Man United could have pretty much consolidated the top four. Well, not consolidated, made it a bit safe by winning. Would have been 6 points ahead. But now, level on points with Newcastle. I think they may have better goal difference. I don't know if they're in front. So people in the chat, you have to let me know. But yeah, we saw what happened. It was not a great game. I want to just get into showing some of the stats. I'm sure you guys have seen it already. It was a really dominant game for Newcastle. It was really dominant. And let me just get rid of some of this overlay. I mean, the stats lie on the possession. The stats are lying. We had 53% possession. Man United had 53% possession to Newcastle's 46. But if you look at the game, it didn't show that we were dominant. The thing is, I'm sure we've seen that Eddie Howe, the way he monopolized possession in the right phases, he was really effective. He really did school Ten Hag today. You could say Ten Hag, okay, suffering with some injuries, but there were some people that they did rest over the international break. There's people like Shaw and Rashford that were resting. The likes of McTominay didn't rest. I mean, he should be high on confidence when he came in. He should have been helping the midfield. He should have had that extra gas. But we saw today he was not the answer. We really missed Casemiro. We really missed it because Sabitzer was trying in there, trying to hold the midfield by himself, but he didn't really have that physical side. We see that for Man United, he doesn't really have that side of his game in terms of protecting the defense. So yeah, we really lost the battle in midfield. If we look at the first quarter of the game, I was looking at a stat on, I think it was a Sky Sports I was watching. I was looking at a stat where Newcastle had 69% possession for the first 25 minutes. We were just suffering. We were just held back into the trenches. It pretty much reminded me of like when we were playing under Ole and we had to just get pressed back and hold on and try and counter. There was too many instances where we gave away the ball and we just couldn't get control of the game. Anytime we tried to get control of the game, we had to slow it down because Newcastle, we saw them. It was like they were on speed. They were on meth. They just kept coming, man. So I hope they're drug tested properly, man. I want to be sure that they're on legal substances. In terms of players that were playing well, there's not many that can be said for Man United, man. There's not many. Just coming back to the stats, I mean, you look at it there. I mean, this is where the real stats show what happened. 22 shots, 6 on target for Newcastle, 3 clear chances. Man United 6 shots, 1 on target. I can't even remember the shot on target. Someone, please, if you're in the comments, get in. What was the shot on target? Because I remember when Weghorst got through on goal, and some of the best strikers, even if they have one chance in the game, they'll take it. Hey, he had no technique, put the ball onto the outside netting, so it wasn't good. We didn't create any clear chances in the whole 90 minutes. it was poor. There's another stat that's not on there which showed that Man United lost a lot of aerial duels. We were bullied in the air. We were bullied. So you know what I mean. It's instead of just being depressed on Man United, I've got to say that the props have to be given to Newcastle. Props have to be given to them because they got the game plan right. They did what they needed to do. They had more dynamic attacks, man. They were sport for choice. They had the likes of the English McTominay in Longstaff. You know what I mean? He was showing up with long shots. And Willock had an embarrassment of chances, missing two goofy ones. He was goofy a little bit in terms of missing the rebound from the Isaac header onto De Gea, who made a great save, and then Willock literally just had to tap it in. He hit it straight at the keeper. And then the one where he was crossed the ball, I think it was from San Maximin, he put it over the bar. And then finally he got the goal after a great move. Bruno Guimaraes crossed to San Maximin and headed into Willock, and he got the goal, man. It's just got to be special props to Newcastle. They really did get it right. And it's so unfortunate because they could go on and possibly finish third. That is a scary proposition. Imagine Newcastle come through after we thought we were in a title race at one point. Could you imagine Newcastle beating us to third place? It can't happen. It can't happen, man. I mean, like I'm saying, I just want to give props to these guys that I thought were men of the match. The battle was the battle was won in midfield. Guimaraes got the assist for the first goal, and he was controlling the play. A lot of good 1-2s, a lot of forward passing, good stuff like that. Isaac up front, holding the ball up. He was winning a lot of his aerial duels. I think Varane and Martinez were doing okay in terms of, especially, making blocks in the first half. But Isaac, he did some good play, hold up for the second goal. I remember he got the ball from someone to hold it up, play it through to Guimaraes. He got the cross to Alan Saint-Maximin, and then he headed it to Willock for the goal. So he was good. Jacob Murphy, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw in the first half, the amount of pressure he was putting Shaw under. I think it was 64% of Newcastle's attacks in the first half were down the right wing. Jacob Murphy was having a field day. I was surprised Alan Saint-Maximin wasn't cooking that early. It was Jacob Murphy really getting crosses from that right wing. So he was a man of the match. Another shout out is to Saint-Maximin, who grew into the game second half. I want to see Man United get... If Sancho and Anthony are not going to grow into these players that can dribble or beat the man, it's people like Alan Saint-Maximin that I want to see come in. Because second half, we got to be honest, Man United fans, we saw Alan Saint-Maximin was doing the skills, kept pushing Dalot back into his area, doing the little jinky skills and just causing trouble, causing mayhem. So Alan Saint-Maximin, another shout out to him, man. It's well done. It's well done to these guys, man. They did the business, man. They did the business. I mean, we won against Newcastle where I was going to say where it did matter because we've got a cup. We've got to not be too depressed today and remember that we beat them in the Carabao Cup. We've got to remember the good times too. Got to remember that time, and then that game, that's where we really missed Wan-Bissaka because he was keeping them out. Ten Hag, he has been a wizard for most of the season where we've been getting wins. We can't forget that Ten Hag is a wizard.
You shall not pass!
That's what the team was like before these recent games. We were saying, you shall not pass, man. The defense of Martinez, Varane, people like Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, keeping out people, keeping out teams, and keeping it sturdy. So we've got to remember the good times. But for now, we're going to give props, man. And I'm sure Eddie Howe is thinking like Kevin Keegan, where, you know, hey, he wanted to beat us. He loved to have a win, and he got it. He got it. He's done honor to Kevin Keegan.
Something, and I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
That must be Eddie Howe right now, celebrating. This is their, almost like their trophy win today. Did you see them at the end of the game? They're all their players clapping, the fans around the pitch like they've won a cup or something. I mean, they're in Champions League qualification now, but you know, I mean, you guys haven't won a cup, man. You know, I mean, you still got to remember that we're counting for a trophy. Man United have beaten you guys. But just gotta say some shout outs to people in the comments. I forgot to shout you guys out. I am sorry. Big up to Aaron. Make sure you smash the like. Please hit the like. Big up to Matthew. As always, Even and Eddie. Thank you for getting in here. Yes, big up to the rest of the chat. Now Kane made it in here. Big up to you. Matthew saying we got annihilated today. It could have been 4-5. No, today. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, because Newcastle were missing a lot of chances. They were missing a lot of chances in the first half, and if they had their next level of signings, they could have smashed us. Like Liverpool, they could have been 7-up. I'm sorry to say, they could have smashed us for 7 today. They were really good. So it really shows that they need to get better signings than Willock. I know, yeah, okay, he got the goal in the end, but it took him 3 chances to get that goal. They get a better level of player, they're going to score more goals against more teams. Matthew saying shocking in defense, non-existent midfield. Flatwood's done less than nothing. That's what happened, man. That was the tail of the game. We couldn't get control of the midfield, even though we saw that our possession is more than them overall. Eddie Howe managed to manipulate the game in certain phases. That's what's good about Eddie Howe. He is able to get possession when he needs to at times and make the most of it. And that's what he did today. Ten Hag has done that in the past, especially against Barcelona, where we had less possession and we made the possession count in those certain phases. But today, Ten Hag did get it wrong. He did get it wrong today. It's sad to see that. But we are in the rebuild. This is a reality check to remind us that, you know, I mean, even though we've been overperforming, we're in still in Europa League. You know, we can win that. Still in the top 4 race. This is a reality check that we've seen that, you know, I mean, we've played too many games. It looks like the team at Man United is on a mental and physical burnout, not winning the last 3 games. Well, losing 7-0 to Liverpool, then drew to Southampton, and now losing to Newcastle 2-0. Not scored in 3 games. So it's peak times for Man United right now. It's peak times. But I've got to talk about Ten Hag because he did get certain things wrong that maybe he could have done some things better. Obviously, I'm just a guy in my room. I'm a bedroom waffler, but it's like I've got eyes. We've all got eyes. We all know that maybe Ten Hag could have maybe done a few things different. Matthew Bassett is saying, I play Sunday League and I'm a better midfielder than McTominay. That's embarrassing. I mean, we've got to look at the form that McTominay was on. Scoring 4 goals in 2 games on international duty. And he didn't just do it against bums. He did it against Spain, getting goals against Spain. So it kind of showed potential for him to come in and show that he can, you know, replace a Casemiro and help us win. Because he's helped us win when he was playing along with Eriksen in previous games. He's done some work, high energy, but we've seen not consistent enough. I would have gone personally for Fred. I would have gone for Fred to start over McTominay because we've seen Fred. He's played so well in games such as like Barcelona, where he was defending and he was getting a goal as well. So I thought he'd be fresh. I thought, you know, get in past the Fred, but yeah, it wasn't working. I mean, I've got to come to, you know, some of Man United's players, and yeah, I don't think many players played that well apart from De Gea. And these guys here, I think, you know, I mean, I don't want to single out, but these were some of the main culprits, man. I mean, Dallo was getting schooled. Like I said earlier, Dallo was getting schooled by Alan San-Maximin. Didn't really do too well. Wan-Bissaka, how are you getting injured before this big 6-pointer Champions League game, man? It was poor to see you out, man. But, you know, Dallo's had some previous good games, but today, we've seen, man, we need a better right back. Like I said, McTominay wasn't doing the business today, giving the ball away, couldn't really get tackles in. Newcastle were just playing through us at will. Bruno, I will give props to him for the fact that he was trying to track back and help Luke Shaw because Rashford wasn't tracking back. He was a bit deep. But some of his gameplay, we don't see him doing enough 1-2s, some of this intricate play. He would get it, try and go for the long pass, and then we lose possession. Sabitzer, for me, I want to see him in more of a forward role, like not trying to hold the midfield. Like I said, he's missing the physicality that the likes of Casemiro has. He's missing that, and we saw it today. I mean, I feel sorry for Casemiro because he's trying to get his sea legs in the midfield where the likes of Bruno will be going left, right, and centre, up and down, not really in a set position. McTominay, yeah, can't really get hold of the ball and help out. He was missing, so it was hard. It was hard for Sabitzer to really get a grasp of the game. It was bad. It was bad, guys. And like I said, man, I mean, with Ten Hag, I think there was some strange things, man, strange decisions. I think Weghorst should have come off earlier. He wasn't doing too well. I mean, we didn't get enough service to him, but he wasn't really making great runs. People have said, okay, really good work rate, but he's really slow. So when he's trying to close down players on the counter press, it takes ages to even get there. So what's work rate if you're really slow? I think, you know, I wish Martial came on earlier. Martial came on, couldn't really do much. It was just like there was no ignition we could get to our engine. It just wasn't happening. The likes of Rashford couldn't really get into the game. Tried dribbling, couldn't beat a man. We lack dribblers at Man United. We need people like Alan San-Maximin. I mean, Newcastle fans have said not really enough end product from San-Maximin, but he was tiring out players today, and he did get an assist today as well. He was tiring out Dallo, and when you got a player that can dribble and tire out defenders, it just opens space for other people to get into the game. And I think Ten Hag waited too long to take off McTominay. I think he survived to the 82nd minute. I think that was too long. Should have got on Fred. I think he should have got him on earlier because Fred's got tenacity. He can tackle. I think he's better in counter press than McTominay. I think he should have come on earlier. He didn't come on at all, but I think he should have come on. It was so disappointing. And a big thing, I mean, Ten Hag is brave, but we saw that bravery in the last 8 minutes was not good because we saw him take off Varane and Martinez and put on Lindelof and get on Pellistri. I think you keep on at least Martinez or Varane because we saw Lindelof got beaten to the header for the second goal for Newcastle. I think you take off both centre-backs, you disrupt everything. I admire the courage to try and go for it, try and get the draw, but I think you keep on at least one of the guys. I think you keep on at least Varane, who's been very consistent, stretching back to last season. I think you keep him on, you don't put on Lindelof. And really, yeah, that just really messed up the defence. There was no coherence. There's no chemistry in the defence after Martinez and Varane came off. And yeah, man, that second goal was coming, man. It was so disappointing, man. But yeah, guys, if you're still in the chat, get in your man of the match. I think man of the match has got to be Gimenez. Got to be Gimenez, man. The amount of 1-2s he was doing in there was so good. Got the key pass, like I said earlier, to San-Maximin for his assist for the first goal. And he was so good. We need ballers like that. I mean, Sabitzer should be that level. Maybe he needs way more games to be playing and being on Gimenez's level because Gimenez, he's got the advantage of being in that Newcastle team for longer, so he's got more chemistry. He's got way more chemistry, man. Yeah, but going forwards, I think Man United, man, we need to prioritize top 4 in the league over the Europa League. I know Ten Hag says, okay, yeah, let's try and win every game. But like I've said in my previous videos, if you've watched, I said we need to prioritize competition. You can't try and play the first team in every game. We're going to burn out, whether it be mentally or physically. And we're seeing it now. Last 3 games, can't even score a goal in the league. This was coming. This was coming, man. Man, I feel depressed, man. I feel like crying, man. Oh man, I feel like just going and having a drink just to drown my sorrows. But like I was saying earlier, we've won the Carabao Cup. We're still in this top 4 race. This is the time to now come back. Ten Hag's got to rotate the team. Hopefully Martial can stay fit so we see him actually start the game next time. We need to see him start. We have to see him start. Yeah, Matthew, man. I can't believe Gimenez went for 30 million. This is why we need the new owners to come into our club so we can find these diamonds in the rough. We keep getting ripped off for obvious signings. We keep getting ripped off. The likes of Maguire, that was 80 million. The likes of Anthony, 85 million. If we go and get these players earlier, rather than waiting for their premium to go up, we could be getting players for that kind of cheapness. And 30 million is still expensive. I remember back in the day when 30 million was the top rate. Remember when we got in Rooney, 30 million. Rio Ferdinand, 30 million. And now that's actually cheap nowadays for 30 million. That is ridiculous, man. We need new owners to come in and get this director of football so we can get the right signings, man. I wish Ralph stayed, because at one point last season, he was recommending Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez for a combination of only 30 million. We've seen Enzo go for 100 million. This is the thing. If you see the players early, you can get them in for cheap, man. Yeah, Matthew saying absolute steal for Newcastle. We should have been in for him. We should have been, if we have the proper director of football. I'm sure the scouts must have found him, but then the director of football have got to confirm that kind of signing, and we've seen that the director of football has ignored what scouts have found. So yeah, I can't wait for a takeover, man. We've got just the Qataris or whoever's got money, we need them to come in. Yeah, Matthew saying we need to bounce back against Brentford Wednesday. Wow. So how many days rest is that? Monday, Tuesday. Only 2 days rest. See, there's too many games. And you're also saying this team needs to show some character now. This is the thing, man. I hope we've still got that therapist at Man United. He needs to get all of these guys into a room and remind them what they've done throughout this season. Remember, we're coming from finishing 6th last season, being banter, to being in the top 3, winning the Carabao Cup. We're in, quarterfinals of the Europa League. We can win that. He's got to remind these guys what they have done. The mentality's got to override the physical tiredness. We need to get back to the basics of playing ball and possibly trying to do some high press again. I don't know if the guys can recover, because that's the thing. We've looked so tired that we've had to go back all the way to doing Ole ball. This is Ole's team that's playing right now, getting suffocated, relying on counter-attack. We couldn't do any counter-attacks. We had zero clear chances. That is crazy today. That is crazy. Big up to Bobby. Thanks for dropping in, man. Everyone hit the like. Please keep supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Matthew saying Lewis Campus, Paul Mitchell, Monchi, any one of those I'd take as a DOF for us. It's critical that we sort this out quick, because Ten Hag, we've been saying this. We need Ten Hag to get this back in for the summer. We need to already prepare, because we've seen that, Ten Hag was having to adapt with these counter-attackers. We've had to play counter-attack in the last, I don't know how many games. This is not this is not going to work for longevity. We have to get the formula right. And then when we're dominating games, then we can be like really in a position where we're seriously competing for trophies. I'm not trying to steal results, because against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, we saw we got goals and moments. We didn't really dominate the game. Newcastle had a lot of possession, and yeah, we had to pretty much hang on, rely on Wan-Bissaka to reduce San Maximin to a minimum. And that is not the Ten Hag way. Ten Hag's way, we know at Ajax, is domination, suffocating the opposition, getting chances, man. Matthew saying Mitchell has left Monaco as well now. Plus, he's a United fan. It's a no-brainer to get him in. It's a no-brainer. But if the Glazers stay, do they see that as a no-brainer? For me, a no-brainer was keeping Ralph, even though Ralph, okay, maybe came out with too many home truths, where he was saying in the press conferences that, you know, you don't need he was saying, you don't need my Specsavers to see that, you know, Man United need open heart surgery. I think that embarrassed the Glazers a bit. I think they took that as an insult, and they didn't want to keep Ralph to do his consultancy role. Imagine if Ralph was here consulting, teaching John Murtough and Darren Fletcher on how to do things and how to really assess the right players that should come in, not looking at obvious signings where they'd be going for an extortionate rate. You've got to have that keen eye for people that can be, for players that can be improving. So if we get new owners in, surely they would see that Mitchell is a no-brainer. He's got a good CV. So if it's the Qataris, Ratcliffe, or whoever comes in, hopefully they have the football brain to get this guy in quick, because I think John Murtough is on borrowed time, and we've really severely underperformed in the last decades. And yeah, it's just time for a change, man. Oh man, it's time for a change. It's time for a change. But yeah, going forward, yeah, we've got Brentford in the next game. I mean, I forgot what they did for their last game. I think Brentford, who did they play in their last game? I think they were playing, they were playing against Brighton. And they were looking good. I mean, the score was 3-3. And based on the highlights, Brighton they had so many chances. But Brentford knew when to attack in the phases that they could attack. So I think, because we're at home, Man United are at home, I think we're going to do our high press. And then Brentford, they're going to do a counter-attack. And we've really got to have Varane and Martinez on point, because we know Tony can win those aerial duels. We remember back to when Tony was beating Saliba in was that game a draw when Arsenal drew to Brentford? Tony was beating Saliba to, I think, 10 out of 10 duels in the air. We've got to have Varane on point. We've got to have Martinez on point to keep out Mbuemo, because they're just going to, I think they'll park the bus like they did at the Emirates against Arsenal, and they're just going to rely on getting balls in the air to Tony and Mbuemo. We've got to be on point, man. We've got to be on point. It's going to be hard, man. Oh, got to say, I'm a little bit worried, man, because 2 days rest. It's too many games. It's almost like we need another international break now where no players go on duty and just rest and recover. Oh, it's going to be peak, man. I think overall, we're Man United are going to get top 4. I think Ten Hag, the Wizard, will work in some motivation, and will start to prioritize the league over competitions like the Europa League. Potentially 2 more games in the FA Cup. We've got Brighton as well for that. So could maybe go for the FA Cup, but really got to really rest players and make sure we don't just fumble everything, because we could do that. We could just end up fumbling everything now. Finish out of the top 4, because Spurs, I mean, I don't know if they could have a manager bounce with whoever's taken over there. I don't know if it's Ryan Mason. You have to remind me, guys, in the comments. But they could have a manager bounce. And I think if they win their next game, they go into the top 4, don't they? So we've got to really have our heads on the swivel and look behind us and be focused. Because if we get Champions League football now, we've already got the Carabao Cup. We get top 4 now. We made sure that we've got the Champions League money and we've got the Champions League pool where we can attract players like Vlahovic, because I don't know if Juventus are even going to get top 4 to keep their Champions League players. We need to get top 4 and attract all of these big players for the summer transfer window. We've got to do that. Well, yeah, Matthew's saying Qatari owners proper DOF and Eric in charge. That should be the setup. Infrastructurally, that's the thing. We need to get the infrastructure right. We can't be just trying to, I mean, coming back to the gameplay, we can't just still be doing this, because I was scared if we win the treble of cups, yeah, that we're still on to win, we could win FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and could win FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Europa League. If we win that with this football, it's like almost we could keep this football going. And I'm fed up with watching the counter-attack football. I can't stand it. I don't think it has longevity. I think you got to play dominating football to keep other teams scared, and so we can win more cups in the following seasons. We've seen that happen with Pep and Klopp. Dominating football will keep you in there to win cups for more seasons, not just the one. So yeah, we've got to get the infrastructure right. Qatari owners will back Ten Hag with the money to get the players in to help the high pressing formula that Ten Hag needs to do. Matthew also saying, oh yeah. So it was 3-3 between Brentford and Brighton. Yeah, it was. Oh man, Brentford are gonna be they're gonna be a pest. This is where we're gonna have to have players like Anthony, players like Sancho or Rashford be able to beat their man. That's how we're gonna, in my opinion, that's how we're gonna beat the likes of Brentford. Bit of individual talent, and then also quick 1-2s. This is where Bruno needs to really simplify the game. Work more 1-2s, pass players, not long ball, because if Brentford are sitting deep, long ball is not going to really work. You need the intricate 1-2 passes. You need players to be dribbling, stretching players on the opposition out, stretch them out of their position. Oh man. Yo, big up to Legacy of Outlaws. Thanks for getting in. Hope you hit the like. Yeah, man, liked and everything. Yes, you're on it, man. You're on the job, mate. Yeah, I've heard about Potter being sacked. I mean, I was really a fan of Potter because we saw the football that he was doing at Brighton, man. We saw what he was doing. And for me, I was thinking, you plug in better players into Potter's formula, he's going to go from, you know, an average manager to a top level manager. But the thing is, he's gone to Chelsea, and I know it's a process. You got to have patience, but they weren't even beating players. They weren't even beating teams like Southampton. It's almost like with when you got like Ten Hag at Man United. Yeah, he doesn't really have enough of his players. Yeah, but you've got to wait for him to progress the football. Yeah, you need him to get more players in. But the thing is, he's bought himself more time by overperforming and adapting to the team. It seems like Potter hasn't adapted well enough to the team at the moment to get enough results to buy himself more time. Even though, okay, the chemistry is not there and maybe Potter needed a pre-season, you've still got to adapt to the team that you have, like Ten Hag has done. Ten Hag's been able to do counter-attack and possession now, when he was originally just possession. Potter's gone in there and he's not been able to adapt to what they're doing. They're not getting enough wins. I remember at one point where they had 2 wins in 15. He didn't buy himself enough time to, you know what I mean, get his transfer window, to get his preseason going. So I'm not surprised that he's left. It's sorry to see. But yeah, people in the chat, who do you think they'll get in now? Because maybe they'll be on the phone. Maybe Todd Bowley might be on the phone for Jose Mourinho to get him in and do some quick fix business. You know, because that's been Chelsea's formula, is to get in managers that can just, you know, counterattack, you know what I mean, snatch wins. I mean, Tuchel was good for the period he did. He wasn't really doing counterattack, but he was pragmatic, was able to organize a team and get in quick trophy wins. So maybe, because like, you know, Jose, he's kind of irrelevant at Roma. So maybe Chelsea are on the phone saying, okay, Jose, we need your 3rd tenure. We need you to come in for a 3rd stint. maybe that might happen. I'm not sure, guys. Yeah, Legacy saying Potter was horrible. I mean, there was potential for him, but maybe the dressing room had too many personalities. Maybe they just weren't listening enough. Legacy is blaming Bowley. Yeah, that's the thing. Too many players. They spent 600 million, as we know, in that latest transfer window. And just like when you have a chef try to cook a meal, if you have too many ingredients, you confuse the taste buds. And that's what it seems has happened at Chelsea. Too many players has destroyed whatever chemistry they had. And you could debate that maybe Potter should have had more time to work out those ingredients. But hey, what's happened has happened, man. Yo, big up to AD. Hope you hit the like, man. Subscribe to him. He does some good content, man. Looked at all the football. Yo, big up for you getting in here. Yeah, Matthew saying Chelsea are currently how United was operating with Ed Woodward in charge. I mean, the thing is, you could say Todd Bowley is better because hey, I've not seen Ed Woodward spend 600 million in one transfer window. You know what I mean? That's even though that's on paper that's generous. We've got to look at maybe Potter didn't get enough of his preference of players. Maybe Todd Bowley was just buying players and then throwing them on Potter's lap and expecting them to work magic. Maybe. But Legacy is saying Tuchel was the worst thing we could have done. Should never have got rid of. Oh yeah, getting rid of Tuchel was a bad thing. Yeah, I reckon he should have been given time. He should have been given time because a guy that wins you a Champions League in half a season, gets you to cup finals. I think you stay with him, even through the bad period that he was in. You stay with him, man. I think he should have been given more time. I think Matthew's saying Julian Nagelsmann, maybe he goes to Chelsea. I mean, if you look at the kind of football Potter was meant to be playing, you could draw similarities to Nagelsmann because Potter likes to monopolize the ball. So does Nagelsmann. He likes to monopolize the ball. Potter likes to press. Nagelsmann likes to press. So I can see that happening. Legacy saying Tuchel did one mistake and was told to leave. Hit Potter somehow. Oh wait, hold on. Tuchel did one mistake and was told to leave. And you're wondering why Potter gets time. Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, maybe Tuchel did something to offend Bowley, maybe. Because we did hear that, I think Bowley wanted Ronaldo at one point, and then Tuchel was disagreeing with that. I don't know if that was just rumors, but it seemed like they disagreed on the future vision. So it must have been something like that. It must have been something like that where they disagreed. They just disagreed on the vision, and Tuchel just left. Yeah. Legacy. Thanks for getting in with the comments, by the way. I just seriously don't understand why Americans are trying to buy football clubs. Seeing it with the Glazers, they are seriously destroying clubs. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against American owners if they really knew the culture of the game. We've seen with the likes of the Glazers, they come in, they just want to earn dividends. They've not really backed managers enough, and when they've backed managers, it's only been for like one transfer window, right? They did that with Jose, backed in one transfer window where he got in like Bailly, Ibrahimovic, people like that, and then after that, they only got him in Fred, Lindelof, and it made the likes of Jose come into press conferences and moan about player heritage. That's what happened.
This is football heritage.
Football heritage, yeah. People like the Glazers were not backing these kind of managers that need proper backing. So I would only support Americans coming into the game if they actually have knowledge of the game. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, everyone, thanks for getting in here. I'm going to end my reaction there because I just need to go and get something to eat. I need to drown my sorrows a bit because today's game, Newcastle versus Man United pretty much went back to Ole ball. There was some things that Ten Hag tried to do, some in-game management. Overall, yeah, it wasn't cooking. Ten Hag wasn't cooking his formula in the lab. And hey, he needs time, and he's bought himself enough time. We won the Carabao Cup, top 3. We're in Europa League, so it's not all bad. It's not like Potter where it's just disgraceful 2 or 4 wins in 18 games. It's not like that. We're in a bad period. We're in a little bit of a blip, but we can come back. But anyway, shout out to everyone. Yo, big up to Football Power Hour for getting in the last minutes of my stream. I was on his stream earlier. We were reacting, and Football Power Hour was helping me to just cheer up a bit, man. To cheer up a bit, because that's what we need. You just need to cheer up when things go bad. You need to distract yourself with just some levity. So subscribe to Football Power Hour. Got great content. So yeah, big up to Matthew Bassett. Thank you for getting in all your comments. Big up to Legacy. Thanks for getting in here, getting in some nice points to discuss. Yeah, thanks again, bro. Big up to AD. Big up to everyone that was in here. Bobby K, Aaron. Yeah, thanks for everyone getting in here. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens in the future games. Power Hour saying let's distract ourselves with Potter. Yeah, we got to acknowledge there's other big teams that are in heavier mud than we are at the moment. There's other players there's other teams that are suffering. We're in a blip, and that's what it is. We're not in the mud. We're just in a little bit of a blip. So we've just got to keep going. Big up Legacy, and yeah, I'm gonna sign out there. Please hit the like and subscribe. Get in your comments even after the stream. Who was your man of the match? Can Man United consolidate this top 4? Should they prioritize the league over the Europa League? Because we can get Champions League football via winning that competition or top 4 in the league. What is the priority? We're going to see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to head out. Hit the like, subscribe, and peace.